Hi guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Y'all, let's do some Christmas in July. Stay tuned. So for those of you who have stopped by just to check out the channel, please go ahead and subscribe because we are doing some amazing things. New techniques, tips, fun crafting, fellowshipping, it's all right here on this channel. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join my wonderful, wonderful online crafting family. And guys, here is today's project. Like I said earlier, we are bringing in some fun Christmas in July crafting, and I am kicking it off with this wonderful 3-piece pocketbook set. And guys, guess what? You don't need a cinch to make this book. You don't even need glue to make this book. And I am going to show you why these little books are so special. Look at how cute these are. They are so stinking cute. And they are approximately 3 by 4. But when you open them up, so easy to make, so easy to do. We flip them back and you can write to your heart's content. You don't have to worry about having that cinch to be able to make this awesome little set of books. And they are just, go ahead, say it with me. They are just so stinking cute and so easy to make. Easy peasy stinking cute. That's what we like, guys. And these books are just that. I have 50 pages in each one of these, and I don't know if you noticed or not, I didn't even intend this to be another cut apart project, but these are cut aparts and they turned out beautifully. They work out wonderfully on this project. So y'all know what? Let's make it. All right, guys, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make our little pocketbook, the third one for the set of 3. And I have 2 cut aparts that are cut at 3 by 4. And then I have 50 sheets of just plain old cardstock. You can use text weight paper, whatever it is you want to use. This is plain old cardstock that I'm using, and it measures 3 by 3 7/8. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I am just going to divide my papers, and I'll take my top sheet, and I'll need a little clip for this just to hold it in place. So I am going to clip that, and then I'll use my crocodile, and the first thing that I'm going to do is punch a hole, try to get it centered. Just like that, and then I'll punch a hole here and a hole here. So I am simply going to try to match up how far in I went on the first one so that I can punch my second one. And I think that's pretty close. So then I'm going to do the same thing here, but this time I'm going to turn it this way so that I can see my first hole. So I think I've got it lined up. I'm going to punch. And so now I have 3 holes. So I am going to remove these, and this becomes the template for everything else that I'll be punching. So again, I am just going to divide my papers into small sections because it's just easier to punch that way. This crocodile will go through a lot, but you have to put some pressure behind it if you have a whole lot going on. So what I'm going to do now is just take my punch here and line it up with the hole here so that it fits right down inside. And that way I'll know that my pages are going to be lined up properly and spaced just like they should be, so that all of them will fit inside of the book. So all I'm doing is lining up my punch inside of the hole that I've already punched. That's my guide. And then I'll punch. And I'll do the same thing here at the top. I am just lining it up so that I have my crocodile puncher set to go through my holes. And I will keep doing this until I don't have any more pages to punch. Alright guys, so I have punched all of the white pages. Now I need to punch the back page. And the way that I do that is I just need to decide which is the back cover and which is going to be the liner for the inside. So I think I want this on the back. So now I'll take my front and do the same thing. So I'll use my holes as my guide and punch. And then once we have all of our holes punched, everything should line up nicely. So I'm just going to take all of my papers, and yes, I can see that my holes are just fine. So now all I need to do at this point is I simply need to take one of the silver jump rings, and when I open it, I am going to open it by separating it like this. Now I'm going to sacrifice one to show you guys the way that you don't want to open it. You don't want to take it and pull it apart like this, and that's just making it wider, pulling it out this way, because then when you try to close it after doing that, you might not get that round shape back. So you want to take it and just pull them apart in opposite directions. So now I'm going to take my book, take my first ring, and just put it through, and now all I need to do is close it just like that by bringing the two back together. And I'll do another one. So I am just going to take my ring and separate them just like that, and then I'll take my ring, put it through the hole, go around to the back, and then I can close it. And now I'll do the last one. So I'm going to take my ring, separate it, get everything lined up, put it through the hole, and then I'll close it. And now you guys can see we have our third little pocketbook. So easy. You don't even need a cinch to be able to make these little cut apart pocketbooks. So easy. So now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and just add a little bit of flair to the pocketbook itself. And what I'm using, I simply have these little corner pieces, and I'll have a link in the description box, but they just go in the corner like that. Yes, that's going to cut off a little bit of the words, but for me, I don't care because it's adding to that cuteness. If it does bother you that your words are being covered, it's not necessary for you to add this. I'm just doing it because I like it and I think it's cute. So I am basically placing glue on these, and they're very bendable, so if you need to shape them, you can. So I went around the edges with my glue. The first thing I'm going to do is open that up so that the other pages won't be in the way. So I'll take it, get it placed down, and it'll take it just a moment or two to start setting up. And when it sets up, then I'll go back over it with my bone folder to really make sure that I have a nice stick. So I am going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to place my glue, making sure that I have glue on my tips. And now I'll take this one, place it right here in the corner, and you can see already just what a difference adding this little touch makes. And like I said, if it bothers you that part of the word is covered, don't put it on, just leave it off. So we're going to set that to the side, let it dry, and we're going to go ahead and work on the holder for this. To make our project, we are going to need some chipboard pieces. And I am using a medium weight chipboard. I have already placed double-sided tape on the back. The link for the chipboard will be in the description box. So I am using two 1.5 by 2 inch pieces of chipboard. Then I have one piece that measures 1.5 by 3.5. I have one piece that measures 2 by 3.5, and I have one piece that measures 3.5 by 4.5. So I want this to be my outside. So I am going to flip this over, and we will put our chipboard pieces down. All right, guys, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to place our piece that measures 1.5 by 3.5 down, and that is our center piece. So that's the bottom. Then I'll take my piece that measures 3.5 by 4.5. I am going to place that down, giving myself about 1/8 of an inch in spacing. And then I will take my 2.5 by 3.5 inch piece and place that on the opposite side, again giving myself about 2.5 inches in spacing. And then I'm going to trim off my excess. The paper that I'm using for this project is Frank Garcia's Christmas in the Country. Came out last year, and it's been one of my favorite collections. So that is what I'm working with on this project. So now that I have my papers down, I am going to go ahead and use my stylus, pressing it against the chipboard and pressing down into the paper just to score along the chipboard. Now this will also help if you have a paper that may have a tendency to crack. Just loosening those fibers just a little bit tends to help. So once I have my scores done around the chipboard, I am just going to fold over like this. Then I will use my finger blade just to miter my edges. On all 4 sides. And then guys, I want to share with you a little tip for some of you who might be having a little bit of trouble getting your miter cutting right. You might have some gaps. And this tip was shared with me by a subscriber. And basically what she said, and it makes so much sense, is if you've cut it too short, just place your piece that you cut off on the inside, and that way if you do have some showing, because you've matched it up with the piece that you removed, then that will help to fill in any shortcomings that you might have, and you won't even see any of that chipboard. So now I'm going to take my glue, place it on my fold over piece, and then I'll get this folded. I am going to take my big old spatula, get that stuck down, and then I'll go along the edges, and basically by going along the edges, that just gives me a nice professional look to the ends because it smooths everything out. We're going to do the same thing over here. So then I'll take this piece, get it stuck down, use my spatula, and get those ends nice and crisp. Okay guys, so once we have our edges folded over, we are going to take our liner piece, and the liner piece measures 7 3/4 by 3 1/4, and we are going to place it down. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just place down some tape, and then I'll remove it and we'll place our liner. Alright guys, so I do have my tape down on my jacket, and I am simply going to run my glue along the edges of my liner, and we're going to get this stuck down. So make sure that you put glue close to the edge, and then we can spread it out once we get it stuck down. So now I'm going to take this piece, and I am just going to place it down just like that. Then I'll use my spatula, and I got this spatula from Tuesday Morning. For those of you who are interested, I know a lot of Tuesday Mornings are closing, but I've had this one now for a few years. And then I'll use my paper towel just to clean up some of my glue, but I also want to come back and just make sure that I have got my spine area nice and tight so I don't have any paper bubbling that might get in the way. So now that we have this, this is actually the outside jacket for our holder. So now we need to place our sides, and I'm using some scrap paper here. And when you are cutting out your paper, save your scraps because you'll need them for this part. So what I'm doing is I have my piece that measures 1.5 by 2, and I am going to place it down right here at the bottom. And then when I cut off, I'll just flare out here, and I'll flare out here. And for this part, I am simply going to take a little bit of glue because it's such a small area. And then I can take this piece, fold it over, flip it over, and get it stuck down, and then I will remove it. Alright guys, so now that we have this done and we have our 2 side pieces ready to go, the side pieces will fit in just like this. Make sure that you don't bring them too far in, because if you do, then your books are not going to fit. So the first thing that I want to do is when I put them in, I want to see how far up they stick. And I think that I am going to trim off just a little bit of this. When I say a little bit, it's just going to be a tiny, tiny bit, because I don't want mine sitting as high as they are. And all I did was took off a little bit. So when I put this in, it's now below the top part. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. I am just going to eyeball how much I think I took off on the other side and do the same thing here. So now to put these down, I am going to add glue to the 3 sides that have raw chipboard showing. And then I will place it inside of my little jacket, and we will be close to finishing this. So I'm placing my glue on all 3 sides, giving it a nice healthy dose of glue. When I place this, I am not going to go in any more than 1/8 of an inch, probably a little bit less than 1/8 of an inch, because I want to make sure that my sweet little books are going to fit. So once you have it in, press it down, press in on those sides, press down, and let it dry. And guys, this will hold. So let's give that a chance to dry, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so what I've done is I've attached just a little bit of washi tape so that we can go ahead and place down the second piece while the first side piece is drying. So I am going to go ahead and just place my glue on the 3 raw edges of the chipboard, just like I did on the other side. And then we'll get this stuck down. And y'all, we are going to have such a little cutie. So I have my glue on. I am going to take this piece, and at this point all we have to do is just take it, put it on the inside, because it should be pretty snug, and then we can squeeze up, and let's give this time to dry, and I'll be right back. All right guys, so our sides are dry enough for us to handle, and I am going to just take my sweet little pocketbooks and place them down on the inside. And if you have any problems getting your books in, if you have these rings, if you just take the rings and just sort of bend them down, they should go in a whole lot easier. And I am going to put my 3rd one in, and I'm going to have Santa's head sticking up because I think that's really cute. So now what I want to do is I want to decorate this, and I am going to decorate this really in true Christmas colors. I have these wonderful little candy canes that I have had forever, and I think I got these from Hobby Lobby one year when they were on sale. And I am just going to crisscross these just like that, so that we have a little bit of that cane sticking out over the top. So then I'm going to take this sticker that says Christmas Wishes, and I am going to place it right here. And now we have this adorable set of pocketbooks. So easy to make, so cute, so needed, because at Christmas time, what are we doing, guys? We're making lists. And if you do manage to get a craft fair in, these little cuties right here would make awesome sellers. So guys, I hope that you have liked this project. And if you have, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join my online crafting family. You guys have a great day. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.